Gordon, and I'm the writer and director of Ransom. And does music want to come to join the panel? Come on, music. There you go.
I'm Beverly, and this is music.
I'm Penny Wilson. I am the producer, co-writer, and co-casting person of Kryptonite.
I'm David Zimmerman, and I am the producer of Honey Bunny and the co-producer of Kryptonite, co-writer, and co-casting.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ronnie Canyeso, and I am the writer-director of Everything Good.
Hi, my name is Marissa Hamamoto, and I am the producer, director, I guess performer, and as well as many other hats for Envision, the first dance film.
on. And she's an actor, I'm a writer, and we've been wanting to work together for a long time. So she calls me up one night and says, I know the short film we can make. What if the first time you ever got high was at a family party? And then I said yes. And I really want to tell the story. I am Filipino American, I'm first generation, and I wanted to tell something really specific, but also very universal. So I think general themes of anxiety, coupled with family, coupled with finding yourself, is really the story I wanted to tell and share with everybody. Also, shrooms.
I had heard about the Easter Seals Disability Film Challenge for years, and this one year a documentary came up, and I thought, I want to do this. And right away I thought, Blair. I knew Blair for years, and I went on the set with him, and I went to his birthday parties, and I knew he had this wonderful girlfriend. And I said, okay, we're going to do this. And I knew his mother, Gail, and we got together. The director was, I think, 16 at the time. And we got his father to edit and his mother to co-produce. And we did it during the pandemic. And we used bits and pieces of what we had, and we brought it together. And it is so important to me because I see the love that those two had and still have in certain ways. And it is, to me, the relationship that I wish I had, or I wish we all had. Yeah.
Hi, I was initially raised with my aunt who had rheumatoid arthritis, and I remember when she'd walk like this, kids used to call her a penguin, and it just ripped me apart. Secondly, my high school boyfriend that I went to the prom with, his mother was deaf, and I loved her, and I remember we spent hours writing notes because I knew how to sign the alphabet, but it was hard for me to read. Anyway, and then the other part of my life was teaching identity in film representation at a state university in California. And then I met this wonderful man, David Zimmerman, who told me about the Disability Film Challenge. And I said, this is a wonderful thing. But he said, we've got to write it, we've got to write it, we've got to shoot it, we've got to edit it, we've got to do everything in 5 days. I'm like, what? 5 days? How are we going to do it? How are we going to really do it justice in 5 days? But we did it. And so I was able to put all of those things into my consciousness. And the thing about the film that I think is important is the fact that love doesn't know ability versus disability. Love doesn't know color. Love is love, and love crosses those boundaries. And I think, especially in today's cultural climate, we need to understand that, and we need to exercise that. And so that's what Kryptonite is about, and thank you. Bye.
Say something.
Good girl.
She loves acting.
So Ransom is based on true events that happened to a relative of mine. And when I heard the story, I wanted to tell her story because of what she went through and the trauma of it, right? The financial loss is one thing, but the emotional and psychological trauma is another level. But I don't think I could have made it if there wasn't a kernel of hope at the end, right? Being able to share with people how to prevent this from happening within your family or your friends was very, very important to me. So I'd like to ask you to talk to your relatives and tell your friends to talk to their relatives, all right? And they can do a code word or they could do a story. Anything that isn't on the internet, isn't on your Instagram, that nobody could know about except for the two of you. And what I love about that is it's this analog solution. You don't have to buy some software or install an app on your phone. You get to call your elders and you get to talk with your family. So please, please do that.
This is super cool to hear your guys' answers. For Baby Skin, I did my film MFA at Columbia University, and I was just shocked at how interested people were in my personal stories and experiences. I think I found a lot of interest in other people's, and I had a couple people throughout the program like, first of all, challenged me to write something that to me like would be boring, like for instance, like a teenager in the burbs, like a straight white teenager in the burbs. People weren't like, we want to hear about that. But people were like, we want to hear about your perspective. And I was like, okay, that's what I value in film as well. And so this is my MFA thesis film. And I was kind of just going back to the basics of like, what stories do I tell people and why? Like campfire story type vibes, especially with short films. And I always tell people this story about when I finally fessed up to my mom. I wanted to get a tattoo, and I told her why. And I thought she was going to not talk to me anymore. And she said, I love the idea. I don't love tattoos, but I'd like to pay for it. And it was an interesting experiment because I actually had different responses. Like I had a really dear friend at the program. I showed it to him, and he was like, "This is too small to be a thesis film. This is too. It's just not enough." And that was the fear that was keeping me from telling this kind of story in the first place. And so it was kind of, I don't know. It took a lot of courage to do it, but my mom sings the opera track over the credits. So I got to collaborate with my mom and bring her in. We recorded at the studio in Jersey. I'm from Philly. We recorded at the studio in Jersey where like Beyonce like used to record and Biggie, and like it was just like a fun thing. And I was like, this is what I love about filmmaking is the people. So I got to kind of combine all these things together and also just provide hope. I made this coming out of the pandemic, and I love depressing, dark films, but like I just was like, I need some hope. So that was what I wanted to do.
Yeah, I love that. And thank you for not letting someone tell you that your story wasn't big enough stop you. I'm a very firm believer.
Oh, yeah. So I got a lot. They're all sentimental. It was actually, so I grew up very religious, and I'm making a feature film about this right now. So it's like a different framing. But I actually, she doesn't like them because she's very religious and she thinks that they're like bad. But I was getting a tattoo honoring God. So I told her, I was like, this has a good reason for it. But it's not like what you like. And so I took that and a couple other things from my life and auto-fictionalized it to kind of reframe it. But it's just this one, and now I've got too many to really notice. So.
No, but I love that. And everyone's story is important, no matter how big or how small it might seem. Everyone's stories are important. Those stories do deserve to be told, whether it's mouth to mouth, or you're just talking to a loved one, or on the big screen like this. So for all of you, thank you so much for sharing your stories, not just with us, but to the world. So thank you all. We appreciate that. I'm going to open it to the audience. If anyone has questions, we can pass around the mic and have our filmmakers answer. Thank you. So if you have a question, you can just raise your hand and we will come to you.
Hey guys, congratulations. Oh, hold on. Never mind.
Jerome. We just realized our DP. You should come down.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
This was awesome. Could you share with the audience a little behind the scenes if you had a favorite moment or something that went really well that we could learn from, or a tricky moment and how you navigated saving time, energy, or money? Give us a little BTS.
Jerome Stolley, DP on Ransom.
Oh yeah, I can start real quick. Obviously the story I just shared with recording my mom was really fun. But yeah, it was I was so obsessed with getting the dialogue and the drama and the scenes and like just the meat of it. I literally forgot to have fun. So we had to do a pickup shoot of all the running. Because and it was like in the middle of winter. We shot in the fall, and it was the middle of winter, and it was tough. We had to like raise the money to do it. But I was cutting the film, and I was like, "This is about a kid running around in the suburbs, and like with his mom." I'm like, we just shot all of the running stuff, like literally all of it. I was like being the most boring director ever. I was like, let's do lots of dialogue. So we like went back in February and shot all the running stuff, and the actors hated me for it. But then when they saw it, they were like, it was worth it. So, yeah.
What was the question? Sorry.
How'd you save money, shortcuts, things behind the scenes?
No, I think it was more favorite. Was it say it again? Either one. Like favorites or difficult things?
Favorite
BTS.
moment for me
BTS.
editing Ransom was actually the day me and Gwen got to get together and edit. We're so used to like remote editing now and just, frame my own notes and just doing things through Zoom. So me and Gwen actually, once we were sort of deeper into the edit, we got to spend a day just, side by side, going frame by frame on certain things, and just having that in-person collaboration in post-production, I think is just so fruitful and fun, and it just keeps the project feeling alive rather than just draft iteration and email notes and stuff. So that was my favorite part.
You have anything?
Oh, I want you to go.
Okay, I have two, and I end up with two microphones. So this was my first short, and probably my favorite moment actually was walking in the first day, and everyone's unloading their gear and doing, the setup of the bank was where we shot first, and so the production design was happening, and I had this feeling like I was at the top of a roller coaster. And then the rest of the day was just whoosh, and it was so incredibly fun to watch the entire crew just come together, everyone pulling in the same direction. It's a beautiful thing to watch a crew of people that know what they're doing do their work. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And I also loved paying people. That was awesome.
Woohoo!
Do you have any favorites or difficult things?
Favorites? Yeah. Well, my favorite was just I'm working with Gwen, and I knew she was like kind of a first time or a newer filmmaker. So as a DP, that's always fun for me to get to watch someone like see their vision come to life like in a big way for the first time. So yeah, I remember like our first time we ever got together and started storyboarding and talking about it, and just me figuring out your vision. It was fun. I was like, oh, good, welcome, welcome to the club. Yeah, and then I don't know, hard things or difficult things. Is that what the other question was? Yeah, I mean, any big night exterior overnight is a challenge, especially on like a limited budget where we can't just put a bunch of cranes and lights up in the sky and everything. So we had to kind of get creative. We were like ratchet strapping lights to anything that we could find that might look like a telephone pole or a light pole off in the distance. Yeah, but I think it came together pretty well, and we had a good time kind of problem solving that whole thing. Yeah.
We'll keep passing the mic down the ways. Just use our time wisely. Thank you.
Everything's easy for us.
For me, I think one of the challenging parts is when you're collaborating and everyone doesn't have the same vision. But the good part about it is that when you're mature and you all have the same goal in mind, you can work through those challenges. So we did have some of those challenges, but we made it through, and I'm very, very happy about that. The other thing that I'm very happy about is I got my niece to star as Imani in the film. And she's just so talented. And she happened to be off tour at that time. So I was just very blessed to have her. And lastly, I was very blessed to work with this man here, who's just brilliant, my friend David Zimmerman.
And I love you too, Penny Wilson. I was thinking, what moments, for both Honey Bunny and Kryptonite, it's the journey, the ride, the process of it and getting to work with wonderful people like Penny and having those moments and experiences with Blair and becoming an uncle to Shanice. So the whole process to me, I mean, I love people and I love connecting, so that's my favorite thing.
One of the biggest challenges, as you probably saw in our credits, we are completely community funded. So we did a Seed and Spark. We were online practically every day for a month, begging on the internet for anyone to fund our little film. And that was one of the big challenges, to make sure, everybody gets paid fairly. We were also a COVID era production, so we had like 2 CCOs and people just always putting the swabs in our nose. But it was another big challenge was that when we filmed all the exteriors, it was like the hottest time of the year. So when we were outside filming the uncle drinking circle scene, I looked down and it was like 106 degrees. Yeah, and we were shooting in Burbank, and then the exteriors in the car, my poor gaffer has like sweat running down his face and everything. So I really legitimately thought we were gonna die, but we made it. But one of the really great things, and it's a story about family. And if you see at the end, I dedicated it to my uncle who did pass during production. And I think we can all, we've all had family parties where you got the uncles sitting around outside, and that was very much an homage to him and the family. So it's very touching, and I'm really glad to share it with all of you.
So some of my favorite moments was that all of my artists were willing to try things outside of the box, which included a wheelchair dancer being dragged across the floor. We had a lot of straps around the waist, and everybody was just willing to try everything, and within considering medical safety at the same time. I think another thing is, we all sometimes, I hope all of us at some point realize that we have a calling, in our life to do something good for the community and the world. And through this project, I really embraced that I was meant to create disability artistry. And it was fun to have that come to life actually, this was initially supposed to be just an Instagram video, but then a lot of people encouraged me to submit it to film festivals, so here we are. Some of the challenges is what you saw on screen today was actually our second round of attempting to do this project. The first round, which included a number of rehearsals and a full-day shoot, completely failed. We're talking between myself, our choreographer, Philip, and our editor, we were like, this is not working, so we actually threw it away. And I said to my team, we're gonna make this happen, but I wanna make sure everybody gets paid again too. So just give me a moment to just gather funding. And I had forgotten that I had applied for a National Endowment of the Arts grant, and I got it in the meantime. So that allowed me to, even though the initial project was submitted for something different, it was close enough. So I was able to make this film thank you to the National Endowment of the Arts. And the second time we were all really happy with how this came about. I had to change the casting a little bit. We had to put some new procedures for this work to become quality, but I'll just say it was worth every single moment.
Thanks, Marissa.
Amazing.
We have time for one more question.
Yeah,
30
one quick
seconds
question.
right here for Gwen.
Okay, it's super fast. Although I do want to take a moment for the listeners because that was such a beautiful story, and I don't think anyone's here. So this is a question for Gwen. I was really struck by the statistics that you showed about how much seniors get scammed for in this way, and having older parents myself. I'm curious, do you know how successful having a code word is? Are there numbers that can be put to that so that we understand how powerful that solution is?
Right, thank you. So this is the FBI recommended solution to imposter scams in a family context, right? So these scams are becoming more sophisticated, where the scammers will go onto Instagram and they'll AI voice clone the voices of young people, and then they'll go find their older relatives, do a little research, and then scam the older relatives. So it's really the only way that families can work together to avoid that type of scam. And of course anyway, if a scammer calls you and you ask for the code word and they don't have your child, they will just hang up, right? Because you're not worth their time anymore. So it is 100% effective in that regard. Then you have to think of other things like bank scams or other financial institutions. They're starting to go that way now, and that has a whole different set of preventions that someone else could speak to. But yeah, the code word or the code story is very, very effective because it is proof of life, and they either have your relative or they do not. So. Thank you for the question.
Is there one more? And then you want to say something real quick.
I just wanted to say this because I forgot. But when I was teaching, I had a young man in my classes named Jonathan Friedman, and he had cerebral palsy. And he was the cutest little fella, and he wanted to be a filmmaker. It was hard to understand him. He was in a wheelchair. But I knew the passion and the love he had for film, so I was so blessed to be able to call him when I started to make this film and have him be a co-writer on this film. So that was one of the most beautiful things about doing that film, is having Jonathan Friedman there with me. And secondly, I wanted to say the hardest thing, but the most beautiful thing, was doing it for the Disability Film Challenge. I don't know if you guys know about the Disability Film Challenge. That's hard. You got to write the film. You got to do everything, edit it, and have it done in 5 days. But that film challenge and what it serves to do is such a beautiful thing. And so I think anybody who does film should consider it, or if you know anybody who might want to do it. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Thank you. That's all.
Penny. Thank you to these filmmakers. Hold your applause. I just want to end by saying thank you for being here. My name is Tony Gapastone. I'm the founder and director of BraveMaker. I love this community. As I was walking over here, running to be here, I was thinking, as I'm always doing, how can we get better? What do I have to improve next year? I have a running list of things I need to cut for year 9. I'm like, no, I'm sick of cutting things. I'm sick of shorting the arts. I'm sick of not having enough to support these amazing stories. Yes, these storytellers. We want to be a community that supports the arts, and we need you. We have 83 people. We were 82 on Wednesday. We became 83 on Wednesday night. We're still at 83. I want to have 100 donors to be supporting this community by the end of tomorrow night. So that means we need you to become a $5, a $10, or $1,000 donor every month by scanning the QR code. I'm gonna wait, actually, to see if anybody wants to become a donor today. No pressure, but would anybody like to say, I'll be a $5 donor, I'll be a $25 donor. Would anyone like to do that? Just say I will, and my name is such and such. I'm up here, though. Who's that? My name is Trina. Trina, and you are a BraveMaker. Thank you, Trina. You're number 84. Fantastic. Do I have an 85?
Tony, I'll be one.
Yes, Marissa! Marissa! Dang! So much of this community is funded by art. Thank you, Marissa. That's 85. Who's next? What's your name? Jesse, thank you. 86. Awesome. All right. 87. Oh, I see 87 up there. What's your name? Thank you, Deborah. Scan that QR code. Please, please follow through. I'll be looking for your names on our sheet tomorrow when the report comes through from our bookkeeper. Please keep going. We love you. We need you. I want to have money flowing into the pockets of these filmmakers, too, into their films. And next thing, tonight at 6:30 p.m., Jordan is pitching his feature film called Preacher Man that he just told you a little bit about, which I was like, you got to pitch that, dude. So we are expecting people to show up tonight to hear these pitches at the Center for Creativity at 6:30 p.m. and donate or invest thousands of dollars into these projects. You've seen some of his work already. Do you want to see a feature film in that same vein? Right. All right. Also, your support helps us be an inclusive community. So let's thank our ASL interpreter over here, Bonnie. Thank you all for being here. Our next block starts at 2 p.m. and it's episodic pilot TV show. Okay? We'll see you soon. Thank you so much for supporting us. Congratulations to these filmmakers. Huge round of applause. Thank you so much.
Okay, I'm like, I live in Delaware. Like, you're super sick.
Okay, I'm a skateboarder. We used to go skate.
I always wanted to learn how to skateboard, and I never did.
It was my